Hello, hello. What is this groovy? I don't even remember what was playing. I don't remember. I just hit shuffle on my streaming playlist. Hello! You're finding the vibe. There you go. You got it. The power of the song title being at the top of the screen will really help. Hi, everyone! Hi, gamers! We're back! More Ace Attorney Investigations Collection! And we're hopefully, fingers crossed, going to beat episode 2 today. I don't want to stop until it's beat. We spent, I think the last stream, most of the time was spent talking to Detective Bad. He had a lot to say. So, let's get into it. I don't remember where we left off. I never do. Episode 2. Episode 4. Episode 4. Did I say episode 2? I meant episode 4. Right. September 10th. That's right, and this guy is here. We know this guy. September 10th, 6 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. That's Detective Bad. But who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. I know I missed a few streams. I hope they weren't that short. No progress has been made. We're still on the plane. So, did you find it? No, not yet. And I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Stop repeating what I say. Okay, I'll stop repeating what you say. So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? And he's gone. Look at the white tape. It's so awkward. What was all that about, and who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impotent officer in my life. Does he even know we're standing right here behind him? I was gonna do a joke of him saying, "I know you're right there behind me." But he did it himself, so I didn't even need to do it. He stole my joke from me. I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? He called me a kid again.
It looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. He's got too much aura to not notice Edgeworth. Real. So that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. That's... okay. Fair enough. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came in here from the Republic of Zhangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. Let's go, Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. Everyone's always avenging their family by visiting the police departments around the world. He has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe. Damn! Even if he is rude. Damn. Poor Gumshoe.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Hop off my goat. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Everything has to do with me. It's my game. Fine. If this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room, straight from him. Ooh. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene bring about success. That's what we detectives say. Hello. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Any shocking revelations revealed? Yeah, everyone's dead. It's just us two left alive. And Phoenix is canonically gender fluid. That's true. That as well. Boy, you'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation?
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. It was crazy how Mo decided to melt him for some, like, sick irony. I never knew he was capable of that. It's crazy. Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid.
Okay.
How about I stab you? Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. What? That's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
Astute observation, Franziska von Karma. Thank you. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use the Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appeared to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? It's almost like it's the key to this whole case. Wa-dum-bum. Detective Bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Yay. Detective Bad. I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. Alright. Detective Bad's movements. I was in lobby number 2, talking with you. Talking with me? Every time. I'm gonna do it every time. We were talking about some trivial things. That's not suspicious. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2.
It sounds like the exact same story he told us before.
Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Yes. Let's get him. Kill this man. Lobby number 1, yeah. We were talking about some trivial things.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. No. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. Just how to murder these two guys. That's for me to decide? Alright, I suppose it's for him to decide. Moving on then. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Okay, there it is. Can we get that in the testimony, please? Because where is it? Balloon. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard is really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure, that means the judge is the killer! I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Okay, then explain this!
Objection!
Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It reminds me of A balloon. And balloons killed my father. It's the same color as the one Kate was holding.
Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Oh. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? Don't give me a so.
We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony.
The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then, you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
No.
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Then, that means that Scrubface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle.
That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the sound. Should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. Exactly. And yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did.
But you just said it's soundproof!
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I thought. Which means what exactly?
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does this all boil down to?
That is beginning to make Gumshoe's detective skills look good. It boils down to this. There must be a reason. As to how detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have.
It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
State of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume Yu wears. She spilled some of it. A window in lobby number 1 was opened to allow the perfume Miss Yude spilled to dissipate. Okay. And way too noisy. Lobby number 2's television, it looks like it was set to an incredibly high volume. Oh my god. Did the killers Home Alone this? Was there a gunshot on the TV?
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear?
Where did it go? Oh my god. They Home Alone did. With the surveillance video. They used the gunshot from the surveillance video to fake a gunshot sound. That's so funny. That's 100% what happened, right? Oh my god. No human can climb through these barred windows. The scent of flowers is in the air. Yeah, that's the perfume. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these opened barred windows. Like sound? The criminal couldn't have made it through, but what about incorporeal things? Oh my god. Like the television. Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? Sound! The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard, but where did it originate from? I wonder. The missing piece of evidence is a video. It shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television. The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Okay. Do we need to begin investigation for this? Earlier, when Detective Gumshoe touched this, it made a most terrible racket.
You mean when Scruffy turned the television on, right?
Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, I see more like when a video feed suddenly stops. At least it did to me. I wonder why that is. It's almost like the video ended. It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside.
It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but...
Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure. Knock yourself out.
Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have here.
If I remember correctly, the footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. So, that gave the killer 30 minutes to get out of the room. After putting the tape going. So, they were dead for at least 30 minutes before that. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Wells shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence. The surveillance video was here all along. Video of the embassy staff member's murder, the gunshot is especially memorable. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we could figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was. And through where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. I have to show what the gunshots Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was. And for where they heard it from. Yeah. Through the window? I'm guessing? Okay. I'm guessing? That's what he wanted from that? If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was... Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? So Yu is totally the killer, right? Like, it's definitely her. No, like, argument. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? The crime scene, when the crime took place, the murder weapon. When the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean, the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Yay! Mr. Edgeworth! Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I'll be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. It's gotta be Miss Yu. She's like the only one with motive and opportunity. September 10th, 6:15 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Okay. What are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
But the object you're looking for has already... Okay. Don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? Yeah, obviously I don't think he's actually sending her to find something. I think he's just trying to distract her and keep her, like, mind occupied. If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
Dude, I hope he adopts her.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds.
Oh, I see. We even have a viewer in the gallery.
And why? Even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right?
Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have. Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion, in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court, in this case, don't you think?
Oh, how absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing.
But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it, by showing who the real killer is. Let's go! Misuse argument. Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Okay. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve.
Hold it!
The suspect, but I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? Look at that, we're getting some timing. But the video had to be started 30 minutes before that, so the real killer had a 10-minute escape. And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated.
Hold it!
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scratched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal will be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Don't! Grr. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe was the killer.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they'll write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let it get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. Wait, we're in court? Yeah, Matt, we're in court. A classic Ace Attorney game. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Franziska bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1.
The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Pull it out, Edgeworth. Pull out the surveillance video. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception. She objected me.
Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Pull out the surveillance video.
Take that!
That tape.
Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video.
But I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Objection!
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already know that much from the very beginning, right?
Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago.
That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day.
And?
And?
That's it. End of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? The window was open. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection!
It's probably just a coincidence that they were both open at that time.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. She spilled her perfume. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... let's get her! Let's get her! Boom! It's you, lady. Miss Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. No, I will not explain my reasoning. I'm just going to arrest you. No. What? You indict me? Girl, you missed your lips. Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, monsieur, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
My argument must not be tight enough yet.
Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess that means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right?
Let's go.
You argue that the window was opened. However, do you have proof it was I who did it?
Yes!
Yes, I do. Do we need the rest of the argument? Because I do. I have proof. It's literally... Where is it? Right there. Spilled in lobby number 1. Caused the window to be open. Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Let's get her. I'm assuming we could just present the perfume, right? Wait, like, that's already a fact. Hello?
Objection!
Yeah, I thought so. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss You? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. Girl, this isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Badge, you see. Monsieur, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Objection!
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss You were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss You. Got her. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. See, she said she couldn't kill Faraday, but she never once said she couldn't kill Rel. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Why, it couldn't be me. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Okay. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where that knife that was used to kill him came from. Okay. Miles, her testimony is flawless. It's not. She's just mean. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. That's so mean. I kind of want to press her.
Hold it!
It's not gonna. I doubt it's gonna add anything, but it's just mean. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, I will sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Oh, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? Yeah, let's press both of these. And why exactly could you not have killed him? That's... Just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth. Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand. Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Objection!
Miss you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry. Miss Yu, please continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where that knife that was used to kill him came from.
Hold it.
Oh. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Oh, so that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Oh? The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. Got her. We got her. We knew this. I called it. I called it. Real killer's gonna slip up with that. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife. Can we add this statement? Can we add this statement to your testimony? Of the key magically turning to a knife? Because I'm about to show you this crazy magic trick. You really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. Or can you?
Objection!
Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. My game's crashing. Hello? What the hey? What the hey? Well then. Edgeworth died. Dude, the key killed us. Dude, Miss Yu murdered Edgeworth. Okay, well. Let's close this game. And, let's see where it last checkpointed and speed back to where we were. That was awkward. The one time I don't frantically save all the time. It auto-saved. Let's see where it auto-saved. Okay. Let's get back to where we were. I can't speed through the dialogue because I technically haven't seen it yet. I'm too good. I'm too good. Bring me the key, and we're gonna save before we present the key. Okay. Thankfully, it's not too far back. Let's, oh, the controller. Present the picture instead. Maybe presenting the knife was a bad idea. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. Let's see. Okay, it didn't crash this time. This is a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just know— oh. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key, I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away. You could be lying for all I know. Girl, you would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Well, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Dude, is she the Yatagarasu? Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, the something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. When it's something of this importance, be better left to oral communication. Edgeworth, stop bullying you. She's just a girl. She's just a girl, Edgeworth. Stop bullying her. Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force. And is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife.
Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will. And I'll wipe that smile right off your face by the time we're through. This is it. The moment of truth. The secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have knowledge of it from the get-go. The Yatagarasu. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife?
Take that!
There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key.
And that is...
And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Ooh.
Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu?
Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this?
Oh, girl. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I sneak into someplace.
You. What? You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me. Callisto Yu.
Callisto Yu, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief, Yatagarasu. Oh my god, we got her, boys. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. I'm gonna be so honest. Going into this, I did not see this coming. I figured she was gonna be the real killer, but her being the Yatagarasu is really getting me. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. I didn't think we'd be finding her out this chapter. I thought that was gonna be a final episode one. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rell an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rell was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rell caves to only know two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rell any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both.
But didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really?
Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too?
Maybe. What sort of woman would...
So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent?
Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rell wasn't a Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Vrell as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led to the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which was why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. Oh my god! You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? Client. I love her. She's so iconic. She's such an iconic villain. Client. If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, Dead Man. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. Oh my god. What? How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Maybe not. I guess you'll never know. Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet. You. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Oh! Oh! You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? Oh, and even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! Oh, my body. I can't move.
Hey, mister! To your right!
Oh! Ew. You. But she's just running. Are you alright, Franziska? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed.
Where did Kay go? Oh my god! That's a gunshot. Oh no. I thought the game crashed again. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. Oh. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma. Are you too hurt? Oh, I like this guy.
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir! I'm sorry I doubted you. Aw. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. From Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops!
Pups? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere was one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. He's still hung up on this, oh my god. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah. I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Or else I will cut your salary in the future. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Well, what is it? Oh, the Swiss roll. What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship? This gun!
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll! Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now! Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. Oh, while the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whew! That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? He only noticed just now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first... You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? Aww. Aww. I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's so cute. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. Aw.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry up and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. Don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. Aww. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is in... Oh, that was Edgeworth. I thought that was Gumshoe. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor, and that one went great as well. That first case was awesome, and there was definitely no murders in that one in the courtroom. No courtroom murders going on there. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. Nothing bad happened. It was perfectly normal. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I've tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. Thank you for the hydrate. Hey, Evil Blossom, hi!
Thank you for the hydrate. And the posture check.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Hi.
But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... Dog sitting a crazy bean. Oh. I should...
There we go. So, do you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything. I forgot this was Kay telling us this story. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot.
Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright.
So does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does.
Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Oh, interesting. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu?
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible.
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then. How do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father.
Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he really was a great thief, huh?
Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
Yatagarasu sends card to embassy. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card?
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out.
But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and misuse identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real, noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Aw. Kay. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Aw.
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Aw. Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you.
Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay?
Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. Ugh, what was with their chummy relationship? Aw. The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Oh my goodness, we beat episode 4! Wowie, wowie, wow. Oh, we got the itchy bit. Yes, save. Yes, save. Oh, turnabout ablaze. Yeah, let's just do the opening. We always gotta do the opening. Episode 5, Turnabout Ablaze. That was a great episode. It was really good. 2 cards. One of the Black Raven. And one of the White Raven. A country torn in 2. One to the west. And one to the east. When those which were split are made whole again. The truth will reveal itself. Ooh. Whew. Oh no. It's the Yatagarasu! The Yatagarasu's here! Ooh. Do you think Gumshoe still says never eat your meat? You accursed Yatagarasu! Okay? You... Whoa. Yeah, can we get an 8 hours earlier for that? Like... March 14th, 10:17 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. Wow, wow, wow. It won't let me save. Okay, let's keep going. It's so nice. Almost dreamlike to finally have the chance to relax and sip some tea. Especially after what a whirlwind the past few days have been. On my return flight, I was dragged into a case involving an Interpol agent's murder. The next day, I investigated a kidnapping and a murder at Gatewaterland theme park. And later that night, the detective's dead body welcomed me back to my office. What a crazy couple days! Along with a thief who was out to pilfer files related to a case from 10 years ago. How did I manage to find myself in the middle of so many cases back to back? Well, at least I have today. All I ask is that I be allowed to spend it quietly. Mr. Edgeworth! Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! That was Gumshoe.
This is big. Big, I tell you. Hey, what's wrong with you? Where's your enthusiasm?
And suddenly the phrase, the fragility of dreams, comes to mind.
What are you talking about, fragile dreams? Come on, let's go. That fake Yatagarasu isn't going to just find herself, you know.
Well, if you must know, it's possible that I was paid a visit last night by your fake.
Say what?
Unfortunately for us, the thief managed to escape. But even now, we're still looking for this criminal. However, I must warn you that we've only had a few hours to search so far. So I must insist that you be patient on this one, Kay.
Well, what's with you today? You sure you aren't sleep talking to me right now? Anyway, I've got something much more important that I want you to see.
Oh, and that is?
Take a look at this.
On March 14th, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. That's quite a bold declaration to send an embassy. I suppose it was inevitable that a newspaper would catch wind of this.
The date on the card mentions is today.
Today, huh?
Come on, we've got to hurry. The embassy awaits.
I suppose it is quite an urgent matter. However, do you know which country's embassy we should be investigating?
Well, it's some really special country, and I'm actually really fuzzy on the details. But never mind that. Where's all your energy? Why are you so lackadaisical today?
I'm not, Kay. You're just too wound up.
Well, then you should get wound up too. Because this just might be our chance to catch that woman.
You mean Miss Yu? The woman who killed Kay's father burned Faraday 7 years ago. Callisto Yu. She claimed to be the great thief Yatagarasu, and then disappeared from the courtroom.
Ugh, she makes me so mad, the phony. Everyone knows that the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a calling card. Until a company's underhanded dealings are made public. The target is always totally unaware that the Yatagarasu has paid them a visit. That's what makes the real Yatagarasu so awesome.
The Yatagarasu's card that's shown in this article looks to me as though it could be genuine.
See, that's the thing. Whoever it is, that person isn't the real deal, but has knowledge of the Yatagarasu. If this isn't a clue that that woman's involved, then nothing is. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Out the door you go.
Wait, there are a few preparations I must make before we go. There's something interesting about this card we found last night here in my office. It's of a different color than the one in the article, which makes me wonder why.
What's up? Any reason why you're boring a hole through the newspaper with your eyes?
No reason at all. Very well, seeing as how Miss Yu is also someone of a special nature to me, I agree there is some merit to be found in investigating this.
I knew you'd come around.
March 14th, 5 p.m., Theatrum Neutralis. By the light of this night's glorious moon. We are ready! Oh my god, it's the Steel Samurai!
Ready to embark on our nightly outing.
And this is where our tale begins. Oh my god, it's the Steel Samurai, guys. What a coincidence. Finally, I can save. Okay. It's Steel Samurai Daddy? What is the name? Okay. You know what? This must mean there's a lot of cameo. Hopefully. I'm not even gonna question it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Oh wait, not that person. They just ended. Let's find someone who's live. I had someone lined up, but our ending took too long that person ended. Let's send you over to this person then.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream. It's been fun. I'm gonna send you all off at a little old raid. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
We finally beat episode 4. I can't wait to start episode 5. It looks like it's gonna be a lot.
Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see y'all later.
I've actually been here the entire time, just had a furry face screaming at me for most of it. Incredible. Incredible. I can't believe Faye's a furry. That's crazy. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna send you all off now. Send you on a little read. Let's go send some love over to Dave. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye guys! Sending you off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye!